5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome.
Well, hello, everybody. It is that magical time of the week, Hump Day. And on this Hump Day, it is 3:30 Eastern. And that means it's time for the Dennis and Andy Show, your favorite show of the week. We have a great guest this week. We're going to have a super fun show. Dennis didn't bathe. And I said, well, you're not coming over here, stinky boy. So he's at his house.
No, real reason is I wound up getting a new computer, and let's say it never goes well and easy when you get a new rig and a new setup. So I spent the day running back and forth between the shop yesterday, and still got a lot more to set up, but I got the microphone and, more importantly, the camera running so that you can see me.
That's the only thing working. Literally, I'm like, pull up the Word document. Let's talk. He's like, I can't. It's not working. I'm like, well, pull up an Excel spreadsheet. I can't.
By the way, he is not joking about that. There is so much that is not functional right now. But hey, I got the important stuff, and that's what matters. I'll be spending pretty much the next couple of days getting this ready before our show, because, you know, we do have a convention this weekend in Florence. So if you guys are in the area and you want to stop by and see Andy and I in Florence, please do.
That's right. And yes, I do. Among other things that'll stay between us, JP. That's right, guys. We are one backer away from 100 backers on the Lilith campaign on Kickstarter. Go grab something from that campaign. Get us to that 100 and more. And of course, it's still live on Indiegogo as well. So we'll talk about that later. Other than that, not much happening. Dennis, I know you don't pay that much attention to off-season football. Dallas picked up 2 Packer players this week.
Ooh, who are they?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
Well, if you're going to bring it out there, I'm going to ask you the most basic and obvious question.
And I'm going to tell you.
Prepared for.
I'm going to tell you because I have the information. Oh, well, while I'm getting the information, Courtney was not a happy camper.
Because?
You know who Michael Evans is?
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to the Niners.
Oh.
Yep.
That'll make Joe happy.
And Miami got rid of Tua Tagovailoa, whatever his name is.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have not followed any of that.
So I only have the one name up out of the 2 Packers, but the one guy is Rashawn Gary. Does that ring a bell? He's defensive end.
Okay.
And then I swear she texted me the second, no, the other guy too, but apparently not. Of course we are. I can't even believe you're asking. Yes. Yes, we are. Let's see. Yep, Mike Evans is going to sign a 3-year deal with the Niners. So she was. Put it this way:
2 is signed with the Falcons.
Yes, I heard that. Put it this way, Dennis. You know where my office is, located in my sunroom in the house.
Yeah.
And in the sunroom, we have a punching bag.
Yep.
Or when Courtney gets annoyed, she can let her frustrations out.
And she did?
I could hear her screaming up here while I was listening to a podcast.
Very nice.
Not really. I was like, get over it. Who cares? Now she wants them to, of course, get hurt. So, before it was her favorite player. Now it's, I hope you get hurt. So, yeah. Wow. So there you go. Good times. Good times. And there's some other player too that Oakland's letting go, and they were going to trade him to the Ravens. I can't remember his name. He's some defense guy. Maybe he's a corner, and he didn't pass his physical for the Ravens, so they dumped on the deal. And now they're looking to get, a couple other teams are interested in him, which I'm like, the dude didn't pass his physical. I don't know if I'd be that interested in him, but I don't know. So there you go. Now you're caught up.
Yep. I'm just saying hi to some of the people, and our special guest got another special. Oh, I had to let the other specialist go. That was kind of funny.
No, we'll get him in. Our guest is who was spotlighted this month in comic book creator Pat Broderick. That is our guest. Oh, Max Crosby. That's it. Thank you, Marcus. Not only is Marcus there for the comic book stuff we flake on, football stuff. So Max Crosby, top 5 edge rusher, didn't pass his physical. Ravens decided not to go through with it. Rich says,
I already posted it.
Yeah, your toupee looks good. Doesn't it look good?
Thanks, Rich. It looks so much different from when I saw you, 2 weeks ago?
No, it's real. You could tug on it, and he screams out in pain. So
Yeah,
he's either a good actor or it's real. So anyhow, let's bring on our guest, Mr. Pat Broderick. How are you?
I'm fine. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Awesome, Pat. Nice to meet you.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jim. Pleased to meet you.
If you ever meet him in person, you'll change your mind, Pat.
Well, probably the same with me too, because I'm going to be on my best behavior here, guys. So.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's funny. Before the show, we were talking, and
What the doctors say, but it's okay.
No. You were in the same boat as me, where this was with your car, but I had somebody come over and do some work over here, and he mostly spoke Spanish, so I used Google Translate back and forth, which was really cool. I mean, once we both figured that out, it was easy peasy.
Yeah,
When I first met Dennis, I used Google Translate, and believe it or not, they have a brain deficiency part, so you can talk to stupid people. And now that I know how Dennis speaks, I'm familiar with it, like learning to talk to a gorilla.
No, Andy. It's not
in the
Big Latin.
beginning.
Klingon. There's a big difference.
Klingon, brain deficiency, dork. It's all the same thing, Dennis.
Is it? Okay.
Pat, are you a Trekkie?
Yeah, but I'm not a fanatic. No. I mean, I have not followed all of the incarnations of Star Trek past the movies, but I've caught a few of the episodes of the different incarnations of it. I've got Starfleet Academy available now, so I was going to give that a check.
Oh,
I don't know, man. I got to be honest. Now, Dennis, Dennis is a hardcore Trekkie. He can tell you the amount of, the company Eagle Moss that does the little diecast things.
Yeah.
Dennis has what, like 100 of those Star Trek ships, Eagle Moss?
Yeah. My wife wants me to get rid of like 80 of them. She really wants me to get rid of 100 of them, but I have to draw a line at a percentage somewhere.
Yeah.
I understand that. I mean, come on, guys. If we had the collectability side market back in the 70s and the 60s that comics have today, because all we had available was, Slurpee cups.
Oh, yeah.
Am I right? That's pretty much all we had available. So.
You are 100% correct. But I mean, honestly, that's, yeah. I mean, we had those. I think the one thing that probably came about when we were teenagers that maybe you didn't have was when they did the actual glasses, that had the art on the outside of the actual,
the
glass,
Taco Bell, the Burger King glasses. Yep.
Yeah, no, I was working in the industry when they came to that. Yeah. Because honestly, I do not remember anything previous, the hard plastic cups, slushies, whatever, whoever sold them. So,
yeah.
And an occasional, maybe a bubble gum wrap.
Yeah.
Occasionally. Yeah.
All right, well, Dennis is we always start with the new guest with the same question. And We should have prepped you before the show so you could think about it. Hopefully you remember. Dennis, take it away.
It's always about your origin story. So, Pat, how did you get into in the comic industry? And for most people, it winds up being a comic book that got them in. Do you remember the first comic book you ever got or bought? And if so, do you still have it?
Okay, well, number one, if I still had it, I wouldn't be talking to you guys right now because it would be sold and I would be on an island somewhere, okay, with my family. All right. And two, you asked me two questions.
That was.
I became a comic book fan long before I became a professional, long before I broke in, so I became a comic book fan back in 1963. Okay. It's when Marvel did their superhero bump, right? 62, 63. And I read my first X-Men comic book, getting a crew cut in the only barbershop at that time in Brandon, Florida, which is a small, at the time, farming community, 22 miles outside of Tampa. Okay.
Yep.
And it was a very rural life, but right there, there was comic book and X-Men, and in my 8-year-old brain, what the hell's an X-Man?
Now, are you saying this was X-Men #1, or it was just an early issue? It was.
No, it was number one, yeah. Because 63, they were changing the entire line, and it was sitting there, and you could find them on a barbershop table, because they were cheap, but they were good. They were really good. And X-Men #1, I remember the barber let me take it home with me.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Yeah, if he only knew, right? And I copied a panel of the X-Men in there that Kirby drew, the group running together, line of action right to left across the page, and I just copied that panel. And I was impressed with what I'd done because I was 8 years old, just drawing. Showed it to my mother, and she was impressed. My brother came in and blew all the reinforcing that my mother did by approving it.
Oh, no.
Oh, he just copied that. Like, I'm 8. Yeah, I copied it. Yeah. So.
That is so cool.
That's when I first started drawing comics.
That's cool.
X-Men fan. That was my run, and that's what I collected my entire life growing up as a kid. So I didn't get my copy of #1 until 2019. That was when I got my copy. So it beat me by a lot.
Yep. A little more expensive too. Well, yours was free because he lets you take it home. So.
Yeah, well, I started buying them after that when, I had the entire run of Spider-Man from Amazing Fantasy through, all the way up to after Ditko left and Ramita started, and a Publix brown paper bag, shopping bag in my closet, because that was our brown boxes back then, right? Our long boxes and stuff, right? Yeah. And I had that, had all the Thor, all the Fantastic Four.
This isn't going to end with a story where you leave home and your mom goes, "Well, this is trash," and throws them away, is it?
Almost. You got one of those moms, Andy?
No, thank God. No, she didn't do that with me.
I do.
Yeah.
My mom was all my Star Trek toys, Star Wars toys, the Transformer G1. I went off to college and I came home and I was taking them with me, and I'm like, there's Tonka trucks here. Where's all my stuff? Well, you and your brother didn't play with them. She literally threw out the 76 Star Trek Mego Enterprise, all the figure. Oh, yeah. I've been recollecting my entire life.
Yeah. No, well, my horror story was she told me to clean my bedroom up before school Monday morning, and I didn't. And when I came home, my bedroom was clean. And I knew right there, you get that sinking feeling in your stomach, don't you, Andy?
Oh my God.
And I looked in my closet and they were all gone. and that was
Oh,
garbage. It was garbage day, Andy. So she knew I wouldn't get them back. She threw them out in our garbage, and the garbage was
oh,
out by
that
the
hurts
street.
so bad.
Oh,
Yeah, but the silver lining to the story is, and I love my mother dearly. She had to raise
Sure,
3 boys on her own, right?
sure.
So in her senior years, she would live between the three of us. Okay, come and visit and stay like three
Yeah,
months, and uh, and every time they would post a new auction of those number one books, and this was like 20 years ago. So
yeah.
that those were some serious sales, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got go. Hey, mom, they just sold your retirement.
Yeah, right.
Until I had that book, I had them like all of them, mom. Added together, I had millions of dollars worth of Marvel, millions.
Oh,
But I was a bad boy, wasn't I, mom?
oh my
I
God. That
rub
is,
it in, and I took great joy in it. So
wow. That is an
yeah,
ultimate punishment right there.
yeah. Well, she would have still been living with me, but it would have been a much larger house.
right.
Yeah. So, but it's these are the things in life that happen. That make memories for us, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. That is,
And then,
no, my mom, my parents didn't do that when I moved out. Um, when I went to the Hubert school, I'd say is when I officially moved out. 'Cause I mean, I moved back in for like, a month and a half after I graduated, but then I was out
yeah,
again.
yeah,
But no, I had 3 long boxes of comics and they kept them. They didn't touch them.
yeah.
So
Well,
that was good. But
you mentioned when you were accepted to the Kubert School, right?
mhm.
That was well, for me, that was me breaking into comics because I'd won a junior bullpen contest at
Yeah, I was
DC.
going to ask about that. Yeah.
Yeah, the DC had sponsored. So that was supposedly my training, right? But they didn't know training at all. Okay.
Oh,
So getting back to the bullpen contest,
Yeah.
what were you, 17, 18? Do you
I
recall?
was 17 at the time. I was going to be 18 if I won when I went up to New York. Yeah.
So when you entered it,
Yeah.
you didn't have to leave Florida. You just did stuff and mailed it up, or what was the deal?
No, I flew up to New York and with a group of friends, and we stayed at the Commodore Hotel where the convention was being held, and had the convention experience. Plus, they had the artwork review. So that's where I was hired. Uh, it was an interesting day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think I honestly, I really didn't think I had a chance, because it was a nationwide contest.
And they only
But
chose one person. Is that how it
no,
was?
no. Well, they
Or
did collect
tournament?
more than one. They picked up Marty Pasco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think another junior writer, Arthur Sudan, was picked up by
Oh,
them, but he worked his own style. He didn't really do the DC work. Uh, and also Al Milgram, I believe, had one, but by the time they called him, he was hired by Murphy Anderson to do backgrounds. Okay,
oh,
Murphy
wow.
probably ran into him at that show. So,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
So
There were
then
a
when you
lot of
got up to when you got up to DC, what were they like having you do and stuff? And how long did that last?
I was up there uh, fall into winter, into spring, into fall again. I was up there a year, and they had me doing art corrections and also contents pages and what do we call them? The backstory pages that they might want to fill out their 100-page family books.
Yeah.
Because all their titles were 100-page family books. Yeah, so I was given probably, I'd say about 15 pages a month to 20, that I would do for them. But you never knew. It was flexible page count.
Right.
And then they also had me cleaning up reprint work for the books, and they were terrible stats. I mean, it was
Oh,
just
I
shot
bet.
from, yeah, it was terrible. And we'd have to go in and white it out, clean up, see a line there and go, well, the line needs to be clean,
Yeah.
you know, but you could spend 2-3 days on doing the work, but the attitude was they did not want accuracy. They just wanted it done, you know,
Sure.
by print time. So,
Sure. And
yeah.
they did print in the oh wait, here we go. What was a page rate at the time? So when you were doing the bullpen stuff, you weren't doing page rate though. You were probably getting just right. I assume you weren't getting a page rate because you were going in like a 9 to 5 or something, or
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was 9 to 5 or
Yeah.
later if I wanted to stay
Right.
there. So actually, Carmine told me that I had the authority to take pages home to work on,
Oh, that's
and that
cool.
they would pay me a page rate for it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which was $10 a page, you know, for cleanup work that they
Yeah.
accepted, and it had to be presented to Saul Harrison,
Hmm.
you know, to look it over before it was accepted. You know, so you had a line, and the editors didn't look at that stuff. You know, Saul was like in charge of. He was over Jack Adler, and Jack was
Hmm.
over production. You know, so that was Saul's area. You know, so,
Did
and
you? Well, I was just going to say. So then, how did you learn about continuity? Was it continuity at the time, or was it just Neil Studio?
yeah, no, it was called Continuity at the time. I knew about them because I was well aware of Neil's work before I
Oh,
even was
sure.
hired there. And Neil had come up to the office quite a few times, you know. So when Neil would come up there, all the editors were happy to see him. They would all come out of their cubicles and say, "Hello, Neil, and let's look at what you've got." You know, everything's happy, happy, happy. You know, and very impressive on a young man. You know.
Sure.
And Neil would laugh and interact with uh, uh, the editor of the Superman stuff,
Oh,
Julie
Julie.
Schwartz, Julie
Yeah.
Schwartz, you know, and then also with Joe Kubert, and it would be across the hall thing. And my
Mhm.
cubicle was right in the middle, you know. So he'd walk by and it's like, "What you doing, kid?" You know, and I'd show him, and he'd like, and he'd make pleasant, short conversation. But he told me that I should stop by his studio sometime after work.
Oh, cool.
You know, and I was as elated as you might be as a fan, having Neil invite you to chat with him away from the convention floor, right? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Get the personal. So I was really excited. And before I left the work that day, Saul Harrison told me that I was not allowed to go to continuity. I was not allowed to associate with Neil and the people at continuity. And I asked him why, because I was stunned. You know, I said, "Saul, that's
Sure.
after hours. You know, I work for you till 5 o'clock, and then it's my own time." And he said, "Well, yeah, it is, but if you go there, you're fired." You know?
Oh.
And, yeah. Well, I was a young man. I didn't understand how the structure of business is because it's hierarchical, right, Andy?
Right. Sure.
And rights stop at the door. You know what I mean? That was my first experience of that. You know, it's like, sure, it's your own time, but I can fire you. You know,
I
so
guess that's weird to me because it's not like Neil was a competing publisher to DC. It was just an art
no.
studio.
Well, they're the area on their body that we won't speak of, but starts with an S.
Mhm.
Were Thor because he was spearheading the return the artwork to artists at that time.
Oh,
You know,
right. Right.
okay, so you know Neil was a incredibly talented upstart type. You know, was coming in bucking the regular system. You know,
Mhm.
and he
Mhm.
succeeded in what he was doing. You know, I mean, the creators of Superman deserve some money, right? You
Yeah.
know, and we've all benefited from him taking an interest in that at the time. You know, so.
Wow.
But at the time, they fired a young man in the middle of New York City. You know, with very short notice. You know,
Yeah.
so first thing I did was I went to Neil's studio and told him what had happened, and he offered me a job there. So, but
Oh, that's so,
he did tell me I was going to have to forget everything I'd learned, Andy, everything I'd learned, and if I was willing to do that, he was willing to hire me. So, you know, that was my moment of salvation. You know.
Sure.
Wow.
God, if he would have said that to me, because I'm kind of a smart ass, if he would have been like, you need to forget everything, I would have been like, no problem. Who are you again? So
I know. But I found out later on that I wasn't the only person that Neil did that way when they first came in to show him their work, you know?
yeah.
And the impression was he's really hard, you know, and cruel. All right. I was not brought up to be disrespectful or intentionally mean. Okay.
Sure.
And it seemed like he was being intentionally mean. All right. But he told me, he said something to the order of, it's a hard business, Pat. He said, you have to be dedicated and you have to be able to take criticism, you know? And if they are really bad, I'm doing them a favor, you know, by telling them, like, you would be better off being a tree surgeon. Okay.
Yeah. No,
but that does shatter dreams, you know. That's what I'm
no,
saying.
I understand it. I mean, I met Neil when I was a senior at the Kubert School, and looking for work. I went to Continuity, and he looked at my portfolio and all that, and he was tough and stuff, and it ended with him basically, saying, "Well, here's a script. If you want to try to do a few pages from it, if you think you can, you go do that and bring it back. If you think you can, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And the only reason I didn't take it back is because from the time I got that, I visited DC again, and I got a job at DC. So,
but you still didn't take it back to him?
Well, I never did the pages. So,
okay.
Because I got the job at DC.
You got work at DC, right? Right.
But Neil and I, once it was probably in the mid '90s when I would see him at conventions and start talking to him on a regular basis, and then we became friends and whatever. But what I was going to say is I understand the philosophy that he was saying about being tough, because like when I taught at UNC Charlotte for a few semesters like a decade ago. And long story short, so we can get back to your stuff, a couple of the students, because I only had like 12 people in the class, it was a storytelling class. It wasn't even a drawing class. It was all about sequential storytelling. But to get into that class, you had to pass prerequisites of like drawing 1 and drawing 2, and and a couple of the students, I don't want to say kids because they were in college, but it's true, Rich, I do. But a couple of the students just they didn't have it. They couldn't, it's college. It's a university. It's not an art school. They care about the money. So it's like, oh yeah, you pass, move on. When it's like, you should never have passed drawing 1. And I took a couple of them in the hall at the beginning of the semester and just said, look, I don't know what the time frame is when you can go and drop a class and get basically your money back and take something else. But if I were you, I would strongly think about doing that, because this class is going to be really tough. And at the stage you're at drawing wise, you're not going to make it.
Yeah. No,
because I didn't want them to waste their money. And a couple of them did. So
yeah, that unfortunately is a widespread problem in the college industry, because they will, student advisors will sign anyone up, anyone at all, Okay. And they have people on staff that hook you up with your student loans, take care of everything for you, you know?
Yep.
And, it's a dangerous, it's a dangerous trap, you know? I saw
Yeah.
the bachelor's degree at my school increase in price from 40,000 up to 89,000.
Wow.
Right, right. And that was over a period of about 8 years, you know?
That's
But
crazy.
yeah, I mean, it's like, do you realize what's happening? Because I actually told students, I said, look, you need to get out of this program. I said, but what you really need to do is understand that you need to go on and get your doctorate. Because you don't have to pay on your student loans until you finished your education. And your only hope is to transfer into engineering and go for a doctorate to make the high bucks. I mean,
Right.
continue drawing, but don't get sucked down this hole.
Right.
Because we would graduate students and the highest level of work that would be available for them would be at Kinko's.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The computer experience. And it's like you're paying like $30,000 to learn how to work in a Kinko's.
Yeah.
It's unfair.
So when
But,
you were at when you were at Continuity and Neil was like, forget everything and stuff, what was like some of the stuff that he, wanted you to do or imparted, or like Neil's rules, if you want to call them that? What type of stuff?
I had to have a plan, a roadmap, a thumbnail. I never did thumbnails before I was up at Continuity and saw Neil doing them.
Oh, okay.
All right. And then he also explained some of the basic rules of storytelling. The first time I heard line of action was out of Neil's mouth. And it's like the line of action on the page is left to right. And he said, now you can try to get fancy. He said, but if you follow that, you're doing well. He said, but there's also staging, how to stage a scene, and leave room for the balloons, kid, and I didn't understand that, Andy, and I'm God, I hate to say this, but when I started applying the rule of thirds to my panels alone, it's like, well, there's the room for my balloons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, why did I fight with this for years? And I remember telling people, it's like, you really need to go back to basics, no matter how old you are, no matter how long you've been working professionally. It does pay to pick up a book and do the exercises and understand what they're being taught. Because I had dropped a lot of stuff, really had. The biggest problem I had with understanding inking was Neil didn't explain to me the rules of linear contrast and depth. It's like I see Bob McLeod and I see everybody, beautiful people that know how to spot blacks in the scene, but it's like I would go to try to spot a black and I put it in the wrong place every time, So then with the rules of black and white illustration, it's like, oh my God, blacks are foregrounds. And I'm a linear illustrator.
Right.
So, it's cross-hatching back to no cross-hatching, back to empty sky.
Right.
But don't do more than 3 levels, right? Because it's still going to be that big,
Yeah.
So that was Neil's education. He taught me how to learn and what to learn,
Right.
And he put me right into storyboard work and worked me for a year with storyboarding, and I did the comics on the side.
Oh, that's cool.
It is.
Does any specific storyboarding gig stand out as one that you were like, that was a fun one?
Oh, none of them. Well, none of them were fun.
Okay.
None of them were fun, and honestly, I continued doing storyboarding for decades after I left there. And honestly, I can tell you, none of them were ever fun to do, but you did storyboarding because the money was good,
Right.
That was why,
Were those boards, were they full color or what were you doing?
Yeah.
They were?
They were full color boards and they were made into animatics. So
Yeah.
they would have sound and we would draw moving arms and stuff.
Yeah.
For basic animation,
Did you, hey Dennis, you want to send Mike the link in Facebook?
Yeah.
Because then when we talk Bronze Star, we'll have both the creators on. When you were doing the color stuff, because one thing I remember talking to Neil at a convention one time, and this was probably 20 years ago or so, and I love Neil's marker work. I just love it.
Yeah.
Because you look at it, and the untrained eye would probably look at it and be like, well, it looks like watercolor. And it's like, nope, it's markers. And I asked Neil, I'm like, I think if you did a book, a how-to book on using markers, it would do gangbusters. Because I would love this. I would just love it, And he kind of chuckled and stuff. But I assume he taught you like.
I was going to ask you, did he impart any of the secrets about markers?
No.
Okay. All right. Work them wet.
Yeah.
Everything's wet and everything has a bleed space.
Yeah.
And nowadays they have marker paper.
Right.
There's
what were
no
you using
bleed.
back then?
Yeah. Well, no, we didn't. Back then it was typewriter paper.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. But the work them wet and know your colors, for the areas. That was it. And just basically work them wet and get on to the next one,
What's up, Mike?
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
So one of the questions I always had about the marker stuff, and we can talk about this later. I don't want to take up the whole show with the marker stuff, but since it came to mind is, when I would look at there's this famous Tarzan that he did, and it's in marker. And when I say famous because it is to me, but it wasn't something done 40, 50 years ago. It's probably done in the 90s or early 2000s. And I look at it, and the reason I wanted him to do a book or even just do a video, right? Because of YouTube and stuff, it's because I learned by watching, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, there's lots of blues in here in the shadows. Is that going down first? And then the flesh over top? Because you could tell he was using sepias and stuff for the flesh. Or is it the flesh and then the shadows? And that's what I was trying to get out of him is just tell me the order.
Do you remember the image? What it was? I mean, it wasn't one of his ace covers, his Tarzan covers.
He just said it was the flash and the shadow.
The flash and the shadow?
Mike, are you drunk? Stop that. I didn't say that. Hold on, I'll show you. Dennis.
He likes fucking with a demented old mind here.
I can show you.
How you doing, Michael?
Good.
Good.
It's this one.
Okay, that's not marker.
Are you sure?
I can tell you right. Yes, Dr. Martin dies on illustration board.
The only reason I want to show you one thing though on it. That the reason okay. Here's why. Do you see the water back there?
Yeah.
It looks like it's a broad tip marker.
Yeah. Well, also, do you remember I think it was his Deadly Hands, a Kung Fu cover? With,
those Dr. Martin guys, right?
Bruce Lee on it, and he was doing a flying kick across it.
Yeah.
The city scene, beautiful coloring. That was all markers.
What?
Yeah, that was all markers.
What?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
also have, like I said, Pat, we'll have to do just a one-on-one video chat.
Okay.
Because I bought Neil was selling from Continuity the 3-ring binder continuity portfolio of the work that they would show, and I bought that.
Yeah.
And it's gorgeous. So anyhow, We'll talk about that later because I love marker stuff, and what he did with those and dyes just blew my mind. But back to your work. So what was the first comic stuff that you did when you were working at Continuity? Not obviously for them, but just in general, because you were working there at the same time.
Oh, well, that's where I picked up Planet of Vampires. I did some spot illustrations for National Lampoon while I was working there for them.
Oh, that's cool.
And also, I think there was another Lampoon-esque magazine, and I did a little strip feature called Night Grocer, as if it was a newspaper strip, like two rows of panels, And then I picked up Planet of Vampires, and my world went kind of crazy for a while.
How did when that first issue, Neil inked the cover over you, how'd that come about? Did you ask him to, or did he look at it and go, "I'll ink that"? Like, what?
Well, Neil and Larry Hama and those guys took me under their wing while we were producing that book.
Okay.
Larry was doing Wolf at the time. Jack Abel was inking, I think, the tree creature character, and I was doing Planet of Vampires, so I was following his rules about the storytelling on the interior. He had me do a thumbnail of the cover, and I did the thumbnail, and he said, "Yeah, pencil it out," and I did. And he said that he told Jeff Roven that he would be inking that cover, and Jeff said, "Great, ink all our covers." And he was happy to have him inking it. So that's that's how that cover came about.
Wow.
And
any idea whatever happened to it?
No, honestly, I have no idea if I got it back. Okay.
Oh,
I've done recreations of that a couple of times, but honestly, it's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then before DC, you did the Iron Fist stuff, correct? Or was it DC?
I did. Was DC first on the contents pages and that type of work.
Yeah.
Then it was Continuity. Then it was through Continuity, it was Atlas.
Oh yeah.
Then from Atlas, it became the Marvel stuff with the Iron Fist work, but also the illustration work for their black and white titles at the time. So,
that's cool.
It was keeping me alive. I wasn't making any kind of living at all,
Well, that I think goes to Rich's question from way back. Do you recall what your first page rate was at Marvel?
Oh yeah, it was $35 a page.
And that was just pencils.
Just pencils, yeah. And that was higher than DC was paying. I think by maybe $5 a page. Yeah.
Wow.
And I took 3 days to do a page, so it was hard. It was hard. It was hard to do. It was. Yeah.
That's cool. So then from Iron Fist, it was over to DC again. And was that Firestorm out of the gate, or was it other?
No. From Iron Fist, I went on to
that's right.
Captain Marvel for years, yeah. And then various titles, and then on to God, what was I doing? It led to a title called Micronauts. I was on Micronauts when I left Marvel over into DC. Yeah.
Did the reason you were off Captain Marvel is because they canceled it, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It was a
I was a Captain Marvel guy. Like, I didn't buy it when it came out originally because I didn't even get into comics until like 1982. But once I started going to a comic shop and I saw Captain Marvel, I was like, this guy looks awesome. Yeah. And I started the back issues I started were right around when when you were working on it. And then I kind of backtracked from there. But the first back issues I got, they printed one of the covers in the Comic Book Creator magazine. I think it was the first issue you did on it that Bob McLeod inked the cover on.
Yeah.
So,
well, the working schedule with Doug on that, it was a bi-monthly title, but they were allowing us to produce it on a monthly basis. Okay, so we would always stay ahead. Therefore, they would have no problems with shipping the title on time. But when they decided to cancel it, we were, I think, 4 issues ahead, and that's what they started out. That Marvel Spotlight, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what they started that out with. So,
was Doug writing plot style back then?
Have you read his plots? Have you worked?
No,
with
I've
Doug?
never seen one. Well, I've seen some of them, and like the back of a Black Panther omnibus, they printed a couple of Doug's, just some pages that were plot. But other than that, no, I've never seen.
His plots were quite literally full scripts. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. So he like Mike here, give you everything. Okay, and not all the writers would do that. They would give you an action narrative, right, Andy?
Yeah.
A short plot, but it's mostly action narrative.
That's how I started with Mark Grunwald on Quasar. Wrote that way. Yeah.
And that's the way Bill Mantlo wrote for Micronauts.
I was going to ask that. That is how he wrote, huh?
Yeah.
Which one did you prefer, or you didn't care? Work.
Well, it's hard for a writer to say that I didn't get something right when they only do an action narrative.
Yep.
Okay. Because I will follow the action. Now, unfortunately, and Mike will tell you, I'm telling you the truth, I get off on eddies at the side of the stream, when story's being developed, and I have to work my way back into the main flow. And it's been it's been the bane of every writer that's worked with me with full scripts. Now, even on Captain Adam at DC, I made the panel borders wider on a couple of issues so I could do all the stuff I wanted to do in between. Okay, and so they saw there was that little bit of story still going on, but they didn't have to have dialogue,
Right.
They didn't like that, so I didn't continue with it.
Oh.
But
Pat draws every shingle on the roof.
Oh, I know.
Well, come on, guys. It's atmosphere, Mike.
Nobody's complaining.
Okay.
That's what makes your work unique.
$2 super chat from Billy. Check your text, Andy boy, and get back to me ASAP.
I know. Thanks for the $2. I just did. I have my phone on silent when we're on stream. Billy, I just texted you back.
Hey, Pat, Comics for Life is asking, are there any artists whom currently impress you and who impressed you back in the days?
Oh, God, who's still alive? Okay. Bob McLeod impressed the hell out of me. All right. Now, Liam Sharp and all these guys, they do impress the hell out of me, but I don't follow all the books.
Sure.
If you ask me like what I think about, say, Image Line, I've maybe only read 2 Spawns or 3 issues of Spawn.
Sure.
And the same thing with Savage Dragon. I never got into it because it was a new company and they were doing very well, but my bread and butter came from Marvel and DC at the time. I thought that was solid forever until they killed the market back in the mid 90s,
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, somber note. Everybody's quiet. Yeah.
No. It's just I hear you. I'm like Billy says, tell everybody hello. So if you're watching, Billy, I just did.
Good.
He added a derogatory comment at the end of that I won't say. Oh, look, another $2 super chat from Billy that says, and get a haircut, Dennis, freaking hippie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Chris wants to know who's going to Heroes Con. Pat, you coming to Heroes Con this year? Okay, yeah, all of us.
Yeah.
There you go.
I do not miss Heroes. The only reason I missed it last year was the AC went out in my car.
I was going to say it was car trouble.
Yep.
Yeah, it was, and they couldn't get it back to me in time to make it up there. And if you're going to miss half of Heroes and then have a huge car bill, you may as well stay home. But I sold a lot of stuff right after that. They covered it, but I couldn't get it sold before. It just did not work out. My friends were saying, rent a car. And I'm going, are you insane? It's like, well, you can get a real cheap, tiny one. I thought, do I look like the kind of person that'll drive a real cheap, tiny car, for 12 hours? No, I'm not going to do that,
Right.
And get back and have to pay that bill.
Yeah. By the way, when I was reading the interview in the Comic Book Creator magazine, you said that you were from Brandon originally. My sister-in-law lives there.
Does she?
Yeah, my sister-in-law has been down there since '83, and my brother-in-law has been down there. Probably for 15 years as well, 20 years now. After he retired from the Navy and stuff. So yeah. So it's funny because like you kind of said, Brandon's like that town where you go, it's this close to Tampa, and it's like where I grew up. I always say I grew up in Beltsville, and people are like, "What?" And I go, University of Maryland, College Park, and they're like, yeah, and I'm like, it's right there. So
yeah, I know. It's like I hate to say that Brandon was closer to Mayberry RFD at the time, but it was 53 when I was born.
I was gonna say, I mean, all of Florida back then was probably so much different. So
yeah.
$4.99 from JDC4483 says 1980s DC miniseries Lords of the Ultra Realm. Why the creative decision to make the interior page borders black versus white? Loved it.
Did he finish that question with he loved it?
He did.
No, he loved it, but he wants to know why you did black borders instead of white.
I liked the look of the black borders. Making that series something that was different, which it was designed to be. And it seemed like the black panels it framed everything in better than being distracted by the white panel bordering. It just seemed different. I thought I liked it, And
was that a Baxter paper thing? Was that a Baxter paper book or no? Like the Prestige they were trying to do back then, even though it was still stapled, they would do it on heavier paper.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
that's cool.
Because the page dimensions were, I think, slightly different. I'm not sure. It was a regular 12-issue mini series,
Yeah.
So, but I like playing with the blacks that way, Andy, because visually you can get a really nice design if you got a lot of blacks on the panel, and suddenly it just goes right into the black border. So it makes those areas actually seem larger. It gives space to it. So
what was last question? I want to get the Bronze Star. Favorite inker you've ever worked with? You can't say yourself.
No, the best inker I've worked with, that's me. Okay.
Right.
My favorite inker, probably Bruce Patterson. He was the most accurate to my drawing style, knew what I was doing, and we did some really good books together, with him and I. Even the Cop, based on the toy series.
Yep.
You know, Doug wrote it, I illustrated it, and Pablo Marcos inked it. I believe Bruce inked the covers for it. Okay. But Bruce, I mean, he followed me on all of, God, it was Green Lantern. And also over at Marvel, he did all of my Alpha Flight series for that year that I did that. He wanted to come with me on Doom 2099. And Joey's decision was to get John Beatty, you know, and John was an excellent inker, but he was short on life, you know, with the series. He bailed after the third issue. You know.
Yeah, he did 2 and 3 because you did 1.
Yeah, I know. He was very angry with me about that.
I was in the studio, Pat.
Oh, you were?
John and I were sharing a studio at the time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, you know, I stood my ground because it's like, John, this is my baby. This is my time. This contract was signed before you were brought on, you know, and I thought that would take care of it, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was upset.
It's a big new number 1. And like you said, hey, I get it. But I remember because at the time it was John, Jim Sanders, and Brad Van Cotta and I in the studio together. And yeah, he wasn't thrilled.
I didn't know you worked down there with them. That was in Orlando. I didn't know you worked there with them. Okay.
See, that's your memory, my friend, because that's where I met you.
Yeah, well, I met you at their studio, or that was when I met you?
No, you came by the studio once. I think I met you I think we met at one of the small Orlando hotel shows.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But you came by the studio before, maybe just once or twice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's my age. You know?
Yeah.
I filed that back into deep sleep. I put that memory down in the deep sleep category. You know?
I get it. Dennis doesn't even remember when we see a movie together, and that was last week. So
I remember seeing the movie, just not Andy being there.
Well, maybe it wasn't a memorable movie.
Every movie I'm at is memorable, Mike.
Dennis, it's your company you see the movies with if you don't remember him being there, right?
Right. I remember everything about the movies, the actors, everybody around me, but there's this like black blank space that's always right there. Usually
that's where he was sitting. Yeah, that's where he's sitting next to you in your memory.
Call it a void.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
It's odd that you can forget that as I'm sitting on your lap during the scary moments.
Yeah.
I will say this: Andy does a lot of jump scares. He will leap out of his seat.
I do. Jump scares get me all the time. Even when I see him coming, I'm like, "There's going to be a jump scare." I just know it, and then boom, there I go. So,
hey, have we used up the whole show talking about this, or is it time to talk about Bronze Star?
No, we're going on to Bronze Star. Is Bronze Star the first time you two worked together? Because I don't actually know.
Yeah, it is, and it came about because I met Pat at a con in San Antonio. I'm going to be in San Antonio later this month, just before the El Paso con. And Pat and I were talking about working together, but he was busy at the time. And I don't know, we started chatting 3-4 years ago, and I said, Pat, what do you want to draw? He said, I want to draw a supernatural Western.
Oh, you're leaving out. I don't want to draw a spandex book again, a spandex character. You know? I just didn't want to do that. I was getting plenty of that through commissions. So doing a full-length story, I wanted it to be something a little more entertaining, you know. So yeah, I jumped at that chance.
Dennis, can you pull Bronze Star up and share it? So Pat, did you I assume you always liked Westerns and stuff then? Like, you know,
I've always loved them.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you got onto Bronze Star, did you have to, not did you have to, but did you go back and like, now I can rewatch some of my favorite movies to get back in the vibe of it, or have enough of it up there to go, I don't need to do that.
Well, no, I did. And the best thing about the internet is they have those free genre websites. You know, it's like type in old black and white Western movies or spaghetti Westerns, right?
Yeah.
And they give you everything. So you've got plenty of stuff with Lee Van Cleef there and all of that, you know.
I got to
And
go, guys. The wife's home.
Oh, okay,
uh,
Mike.
I'll see
bye,
you later.
Mike.
We'll talk to you later,
Carry
Mike.
on. All right.
Thanks, man.
I'll carry on, Mike. Thanks for stopping in.
Well, that's
Uh,
cool. Do you and Mike share any favorite movies together, or you haven't really talked about that stuff?
He's more of a wider range of the knowledge of the Western genre from TV and the movies. I mean, he knows the actors' names and whatnot.
Yeah.
For myself, I got into them at the tail end of Rawhide, okay, on TV. And
Mhm.
then all of Bonanza and all the way up to where it made a resurgence, with the spaghetti westerns. And then I really got turned on to them with that. And the availability, Andy, of the phones that we now have
Yeah.
and the ability to watch a movie and then you see a scene, it's a great scene. So it's like I can hit stop, I can tap it again, and all the stuff goes away and it's frozen. I got a moment of opportunity there where I can capture that design,
Yeah.
and that's what I use it for. Now, but also it's everything like in doing this, how could I not do this without widescreen shots,
Mhm.
because I want to go for that effect,
Right.
the Western. So that was my drive. I watched, God, it was every Lee Van Cleef movie. My Name is Nobody. The anything that God, Sergio Leone was the
Mhm.
director of, anything. It was to capture and understand that storytelling thing as much as that was great reference, right? But it was seeing how he laid the shots out, that it was like, it's only like a moment in the comic book page where you might be able to capture that type of feeling, because not every panel leads up to something like that. Now, don't draw, uh, I don't draw in the big pinup fashion way anymore. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Because
Oh, totally.
it wouldn't work with a Western. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah.
So now that Mike's gone, you get the heavy lifting. Where does this Bronze Star pick up from the last one? Like, what's this one about? Is there a time jump, like, from when the first book
Seasonal.
ends, this one picks up?
Yeah, Mike is clever enough to write in seasonal changes, and then the season can change either that year or 2 years away, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So it allows me to play more with the character. And the first Bronze Star, he just had the mustache. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then in the second one, I included the full goatee to complete the rumor that, oh, you've drawn yourself in as this character.
I was going to
I've had
mention
this
that. Yeah.
goatee all my life. And it's like, no, I'm not doing that, but okay, fine. So throughout this one, he has the goatee. And the only request that I had with Mike is that he could change it again. And a great humanistic story is perhaps having, his love interest tugging at it and saying, are you ever going to shave that off? And then just get rid of it again, go back to the mustache. But it does take place much later. I'd say at least 2 seasons. It
Okay.
starts out in the fall and it goes into winter time again because it is up north and Canada can't look beautiful all year long, right?
Sure.
So it picks up with the fact that the Indians are going through a period of the game's gone, all right, and they're going through a period of entering into starvation, and they need help from Harley and the citizens in the town. But during this process of the Indians going into starvation, the Wendigo has been raised. Now,
Oh.
through some Indian magical process, okay?
Yeah.
there's clues that were laid in there that it was a human being. Okay, but I don't want to give everything away.
Sure.
So the Wendigo is attacking other members of the tribe. All right, so coming to Harley to help them get rid of it because he got rid of the werewolf in issue 1. You know, so he begins the story of the Wendigo and how it becomes a problem for the town, the community. So Harley is put into a position of organizing the townsfolk and preparing for what's going on. Okay. That's resolved with the introduction of Alan Quartermain, okay, the character.
Mhm.
And so that begins one of Mike's apparent decisions to introduce historical people and famous characters from stories into our storyline. So he becomes he partners up with Harley after, and I don't want to give this away, but it's after the town have dealt with the Wendigo problem.
Oh, okay.
And Harley, he's there to kill the big damn grizzly bear. He's there just on a hunting expedition, and he gets his bear. But Harley and the Indian chief have another problem, and it's the Ogopogo lake serpent. It's killed some of their Indians by the shoreline that were spearfishing. And when they went to the lake, they actually caught the monster killing some trappers. And since they were French trappers, the Indians didn't give a shit because they were killing all the game. And so that is resolved. Let me see. We have a wonderful, well, I guess it was a Thanksgiving celebration scene. And somebody in the story gets a gift because we tie up a plot line thread that was open at the first issue that has to do with the farm dog. We tie that plot line up. So, and I worked on it as hard as I did on the first issue. You know, it's every bit stands up to the first book. If you like the first book, you won't be let down with this.
Now, are you all done with the art on this one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all done with everything. Andy, you had mentioned, about Kickstarters and stuff at one time. Things have altered, so we're up right now on Fund My Comic. We're waiting for the clearance to go up on Kickstarter, which should be happening any week now.
Oh, cool.
I've asked about that if they've got a date yet, but they're still fulfilling Mike's massive omnibus order.
Oh, yeah.
And so they won't let him start the new campaign until that's proven to them fulfilled.
Oh, okay.
So right now we're on Fund My Comic. I've got 450 something backers, doing real well on there.
Dennis, why don't you scroll through it and let's look at the perks real quick.
Yeah. We got some nice stuff in there.
Here's the digital edition. For those of you particularly overseas, we don't get hit with the shipping then. That is a good thing for that. And then there is your cover A. Oh, and there's cover B.
I like that one.
I do too. Oh, that's cool too. There's your cover C.
Nice.
Yeah, that was God. Excuse me, guys. My brain's a little fried.
No, that's okay. Let's see. I can't read it. It's too small.
Rick Rags Morales.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Cool.
Thank you to my good friend who I've known for a long time.
That's right.
That's
nice.
Terrible.
That's cool. The Ogopogo. That's a cool cover.
Yeah, it's a nice. Those two widescreen shots right there are really nice.
And right there. And then you have a primer set, volumes 1 and 2. So for those of you who missed the first one, you don't have to worry about missing it any longer. Cool. And then there is the collector with all three. So if you love all three covers, you can get them all together at a discount.
And the artist edition again.
Artist edition. And he's going to love that one.
Doing an artist edition again. Nice.
Legacy edition. Full color hardcover collecting both volumes. In one deluxe edition. Limited to just 100 copies. Each book cool. Specially designed. Autographed bookplate signed by Eisner-winning writer Mike Barron and legendary illustrator Pat Broderick, making it a true collector's treasure. Guys, that is cool right there. Yeah. And there are only 39 of those left. So for $125, you get a signed, really cool hardcover of everything. That is cool. And then there is the Treasury Collection. That gets you the cover A, B, C, the Artist Edition, the autographs, name in the book, and the digital version.
Oh, nice.
Oh, and then stretch goals. Check that out. You've already unlocked the bonus content. So we've already done that. Exclusive art print. Every physical order will include a stunning 8.5 by 5.5 art print featuring never seen before artwork from the campaign. Cool. And then up next is the bookmark. All physical tiers will receive the bookmark. So guys, that's what I think we're hitting on right. Let me just double check. I think we were at 31.2. So yep, closing in on the bookmark. And then after that, it's the poster, 18 by 24 poster, which is cool.
Very
and
cool.
If we hit 50,000, it looks like a live experience plus bonus. Backers at every level gets exclusive to a live reading with the creators, plus exclusive digital extras to deepen your Bronze Star experience. Now that is a really cool idea. I love that.
Whoa, so you guys are going to do a video thing where you read it? Who does the female voices?
Oh, Mike.
Mike.
Oh, I'll just say Dennis is available.
Yeah, that's definitely in my contract, which is the first I've heard of this, so it will be clear, okay?
There's only one character you're reading, and that's it.
Yeah. No, I'm the crusty old guy sitting outside in the chair, you know. I'm the extra crotchety old man, you know. So.
You can't call yourself that, though. Isn't Mike older than you?
Yeah, he is. So, Mike, I mean, you can only imagine how he feels. So.
Yeah, I was going to say. Hey, let me grab this from Billy for $5. And apologies for not saluting the great Pat Broderick and Mike Barron. Thanks, Billy.
And then up we have the Artist Edition Compendium Legacy.
Yeah.
Deluxe 144-page oversized hardcover edition collecting both volumes. The black and white artist editions. Wow. Limited to 100 copies.
That's
yeah,
cool.
It's got
cool.
Good, maybe a dozen or so additional pieces, you know, nice character pages, design pages, setting pages, you know, stuff,
Yeah.
prelim stuff, you know.
Nice.
All right. This is Andy's. It's the Outlaws Vault. Ultimate Collector's Prize limited to only 8 backers because only 8 copies of Bronze Star Volume 1 Artist Edition remain. Oh. Wow. This it includes everything from the Bronze Star to Treasury, all 3 volumes of the soft covers. Wow, look at that. Both artist editions, autograph, name in the book in volume 2, and both the digital versions. There is only 2 left of that bad boy everybody. So only 2 left. And then, wow, Masterwork Edition. One of the rarest treasures.
Have any of those moved?
Let's take a look. Nope, not yet.
Okay.
So, guys, there's 3 of them available, limited to 3 copies. Oversized hardcover, features the Volume 1 Artist Edition in stunning black and white on heavy paper, showcasing Pat's masterful line art at its finest. What makes it truly unique? Pat himself has personally hand-drawn original artwork on the front end papers of each copy, making every book a one-of-a-kind masterpiece. Wow.
Oh, wait. So the images we're seeing are done. Like that's one of those are. Oh, holy shit.
No,
Damn.
no, well, no.
Oh,
Those sold at the OA last year. Okay.
oh,
Those,
so that's an
they
example.
they flew off my table. I mean, I did
Oh, okay.
3
Okay.
and they were gone. Yeah.
But it's a great example to show what
Exactly.
somebody's going to
Yeah.
get.
Yeah. I have one here, you know, I have
Yeah,
one
yeah.
ahead, but, you know,
Okay.
so waiting
that's
for
very
the
cool.
order. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And then they do have a retailer bundle for, so those of you that own comic book stores and want to be able to have the great Mike and Pat have their books in your shop, it's right there. You can get your copy. Look at that.
Oh, there it is. Hold on, Pat. I'll do you a full screen so we can see that.
There you go. Yeah.
There we go. Holy crap.
That's one of them that they actually showed. Yeah. So that's the one.
Damn.
That is so
The
cool.
others on there were sold. Okay. So yeah, you know,
How long did that take you?
it took me about 3 days on
Wow.
the both pieces, but my life has broken up in a lot of things that, you know, Andy, I can't do the volume that I used to do any longer.
Oh,
And I
I
don't
hear you.
want to do that amount of work anymore, you know. So I'm like in bed by 6:30, 7.
What time do you get up?
4.
Well, that'll do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you know, I mean, I'm tired. I've had dinner. I watched
Sure.
a little bit of the Netflix with my wife, and I'm out. And she's, you know, she goes to sleep too. And 4 o'clock rolls around. My bladder is a 4 a.m. wake up. You know, so I'm up, and then that's that. Yeah. And
No, I hear you.
yeah,
Should we
that's
play the
how-
trailer?
Yeah, let's
Mhm.
play the trailer.
Yeah.
In the lawless, unforgiving Old West, one man tried to bury his past, only to discover that some nightmares never stay buried. Newly appointed Sheriff Harley Brogdon thought he'd left trouble behind, until ancient terrors from Native American legend clawed their way out of the cold earth. Bronze Star 2 is the thrilling continuation of the critically acclaimed Weird Western series by Eisner Award-winning writer Mike Barron and legendary artist Pat Broderick, co-creator of Creature Commandos. Return to Cobb's Gap, where every bullet fired is a deadly gamble, and every shadow may conceal an unimaginable horror. The legend rides again, deeper into darkness, into a series of hellish nightmares that will haunt you long after the final page. 2 chilling journeys into the heart of the Weird West await you in Bronze Star 2. Pre-order the pulse-pounding sequel now at fundmycomic.com.
Nice.
Excellent.
Yeah. The animation on those is done by Chris Braley at the
Yeah, he's good,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, he is. He's excellent.
Well, that explains why Chris wants us to play the trailer.
Yeah, he's like, come on, show my
Oh,
work.
was there a message? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, he did a longer one also, the one where he interviewed, well, Mike and I are interviewed on it too. You know,
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
he's a
that's
great
good looking
guy. He really is. You know. And the thing about this, Andy, you know, as I said, I'm slowing down, you know. And it's a recognition of my spot, right? You know, 70, going on 73.
Yeah.
And I told Mike, you know, that if all I do for the rest of my career is Bronze Star, I'll be happy, you know, because to me, I'm finishing on a happy part. You know what I mean? If I'm doing work that I love the artwork, I love working with Mike. I'm not going to be doing this stuff for another 10 more years. I'm not going to be doing this when I'm 83. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So,
sure.
Yeah.
you know, this is like the best final. I don't like this is the last call, but not final curtain. You know what I mean?
Nope, I get it.
This stuff represents my art now. You know what I
Yeah.
can do. You know, so
Nice.
proud of it.
So Pat, do you have any more planned, you know, in the pipe work for, you know, after this, a couple more? Or?
Yeah, number 3 is already plotted out. Mike sent it to me in a not a script form, more prose,
Okay.
story form. So I loved it, but it's like, God, you know, you got to break this down into 64 pages, you know. So it's a lot that's coming up, and the second issue. Our backup stories are becoming unique. You know, I'm enjoying doing those because it's not doing nice little 12-page. Guys, it's the old school stories. You know, before they expanded to like back when they used to do team books. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's nice doing the smaller story size and. It's not your standard comic book coloring. If you hadn't noticed, Andy, it doesn't look
Yeah.
like a superhero, flashy, sparkly, heavy filters and effects, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm proud of that too. You know,
No, it's a nice palette. It worked well. I mean, you want to work with the material given, and with a Western like that, that's what it's suited for.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
and especially with the amount of work you're putting into the black and white art. I mean, you don't want to cover all that up with oversaturated coloring and stuff. So,
well, there's that, and you know, doing the artist editions are wonderful on the side. You know, who knows? You know, down the line, Mike and I may be just doing a black and white something together. You know,
sure.
You know, it's far more economically successful in the sense of time spent. You know.
Yeah. To a magazine format.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
And so just you gotta forget the hours you've spent on the project when you're calculating the drive, because you know you got a level. It's like, man, you got to hit at least right up here, you know.
Yeah.
Or otherwise, you know, it's like it's definitely from the heart, because you know you've made a little bit of scratch, some nice money for one time, and you go back to work again. And that's what I tell the students too. I love the fact that the independents are now, you know, like everything now is working for us, whereas before the companies had the ability to shut us down as an independent market, you know, and they controlled the distribution. We would love to be able to get our stuff in the shops again. And now there's a possibility that we can do that, where the companies don't control that chokehold on them like they did back when Cerebus first came out, when the independent expansion came out in the mid to late 70s, you know?
Yeah.
Right into the 80s. Yeah. There's a greater opportunity here now, you know. So I love that, you know, because I mean, face it, Andy, I love getting the IP checks, you know, from Marvel and DC, but they're an accumulation of pennies mounted together, you know.
Right.
And it's never going to change, you know. It's a good thing for my grandkids, you know, like 3 times a year they'll get a check, you know. It's a nice check. But, you know, I own half a Bronze Star, you know, Mike owns that, you know, so it's like, it's a perfect property for a low budget movie series. I mean, film in Canada, right?
That's right. Yeah. No, I hear you.
Yeah. To me, it's got greater hopes. And then they do an animated Creature Commando series. It's like, no.
I know. I haven't watched it, so.
It's interesting for animation. I've watched the first 2 episodes, and it's good. You know, and It's not Teen Titans, you know.
Sure.
It's not the kind of royalties that were paid to Marv and George,
Oh yeah.
you know, because they created all those characters. I'm fighting with them over the Frankenstein character.
Right.
You know, it's how can a derivative be a derivative of this? You know, it's insane. But it took me 8 years to get Tim Drake, my royalties and recognition for Tim Drake creating. So
Damn, 8 years. That's crazy.
yeah, yeah. Well, it took a change of upper echelon leadership, basically.
Right.
You know, old souls had to leave the company. So
Right. Yeah, I didn't even know until once again reading that, because I was never really into Batman in the 80s and stuff. So I never even knew you created Tim Drake.
yeah,
So I read that magazine.
yeah. Well, I like doing the character just because out of all the DC comic characters, there were only like 2 that I honestly enjoyed, you know, reading as a fan, and Batman was one of them, you know. So,
Sure.
and anything Gil Kane drew was the other one.
Oh, hell yeah.
Flash or any comic, I just love Gil's work. So it doesn't matter.
Well, that had to be a treat then to be able to follow up Sword of the Atom after Gil left, and you jumped in and did a special. You do one or two.
Yeah, yeah. It was I believe it was the second special, I think.
Second special. Yeah.
But it was, you know, because I'm still a fanboy geek. You know, I mean, I met Gil years ago, and you know, it's like, oh my God, he called me his boy. You know, my boy.
Yeah.
And they're like, hell, Pat, he calls everybody that. You know,
Yeah,
well, that was the charming personality that Gil had. And I truly did fell in love with him personally. You know, and
Yeah,
his
I
artwork.
never got to meet him in person, unfortunately.
Well, the thing about his artwork for me, it was the same anatomy that was under Neil's artwork.
Yeah.
Okay, but it was just not covered by, you know, fancy lighting, you know, shading effects and all. It was all there. You didn't have to guess where that line is, you know, because Neil didn't have to show it. And it made learning to draw the figure for me, you know, so much easier. You know, it was like I could copy Gil Kane's, and I know that was like 90% there. The other 10%, my inexperience copying Gil Kane. You know.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I love Gil Kane's work. As soon as I saw it as a kid, it was on Green Lantern, and I was just like, you know, I couldn't put my finger on it, but I was just blown away. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
you know, one of I'll have to share a link with you. Yeah, I mean, you've probably seen enough of it, but I've got copies of a whole issue of Green Lantern, early Green Lantern, you know, before Neil took the book, of his layouts. They're just awesome. It's all his figure construction. I mean, it's just love it.
Yeah. So. The brilliance of it is Gil recycled. Okay.
Oh yeah.
He never threw anything away. So he had it down. If he had to do an extra page that day, he had all his basic drawings already done. And in his mind, it's like, use this for this panel because this is what's happening, and layer it up and sketch it off again. You know, it's brilliant. Brilliant. Sure. Yeah. So,
hey, Chris Braley, thanks for the $10, brother. Pat's a legacy creator, and so is Mike. My honor to work with them and be friends with all you creators, especially the best comic art related live show during this time slot. You know it, Chris. That $10 got you those brownie points. When you're here in Charlotte for Heroes Con, Dennis will buy your dinner one night for that.
Hey, you got to pay to play. You know, you got to pay to play.
Guys, we're going to wrap it up because we've been going for an hour and a half, and Graybeards with Aaron Lepresti starts in 1 minute. So, Pat, thank you for joining us. Everybody go back Bronze Star.
That's right.
And, what was that?
I said it was a pleasure, guys. It was an honor to be here with you, Andy. Yeah.
Oh,
now when we're in person, I don't have to be this polite to you.
No, you never are. All sorts of nasty words come out, and I'm like, hey, Dennis isn't standing next to me, Pat. What are you doing?
Oh, I know. I have to keep it down because Dennis is here. We don't want
that
to.
That is true.
I know.
That is true.
You know,
guys, we're one backer away on Lilith Infernal Conflict to 100 backers on Kickstarter. Link in the description below. Make our day. Go be the 100th backer on Lilith Infernal Conflict on Kickstarter. Get yourself the, where is it? There it is. The Billy Tucci, Dan Lawless cover, only on Kickstarter. And then, of course, on Indiegogo, it's still live. You can get it there as well. The collector's box, 2 extra exclusives, the bookmark and John Malin's black and white variant cover, only in the box. Save $30. Get everything.
There's a few of the retro editions left, but that's it. There's limited to 100, and there's just a few left, maybe 4.
That's right. Where is it? Hold on. There it is. Go get yourself the retro edition, printed on newsprint, different cover, simpler coloring to take you back to the good old days of the 70s and 80s. Comes with a certificate of authenticity, signed and numbered, like Dennis said, limited to 100, just a few left. So go get that too. The links for everything are in the description below. And before we leave, Dennis, pop quiz, hot shot. What movie are we seeing tomorrow night?
Well, Andy, we're going to be seeing Undertone. So another horror movie in the making. So stay tuned, because we will be going live right after, or I should say recording right after, to give you the movie review in a few.
That's right. So until then, we'll catch you guys next week and talk to you later. Bye-bye, everybody.
Same bat channel.
That's